Okay, get ready to dive in because today we're tackling a book that's shrouded in mystery. Helena Blavatsky's The Secret Doctrine. It's like, imagine opening a book that claims to hold the secrets of the universe, hidden wisdom passed down through, like, ancient traditions. That's the kind of vibe Blavatsky was going for, and believe me, it's a wild ride.
You know, what's fascinating is that Blavatsky didn't claim to invent this secret doctrine. She was adamant that it was entrusted to her
By whom?
by a lineage of initiates, guardians of a hidden wisdom stretching back centuries.
Okay.
And get this, she even claimed her writings were inspired by this mysterious text called the Book of Jan,
Book of Gene?
a source completely unknown to Western scholars.
Secret societies, ancient texts, lost civilizations. It's like the ultimate treasure hunt for knowledge. But how do we even begin to unpack a book as complex as The Secret Doctrine?
Well, Blavatsky, she structured the book around a series of what she called stanzas.
Stanzas.
Picture these stanzas like verses from an ancient hidden poem, each one a piece of the puzzle, revealing a part of the universe's secrets. These stanzas, they tackle everything, from the universe's creation to the evolution of humanity, and they're jam-packed with symbolism and allegory.
So it's like we're deciphering a cosmic code. Where do we even begin?
Let's start with stanza 3. It introduces this mind-blowing concept of the universe originating from something Blavatsky called divine thought.
Divine thought.
Yeah, and she uses this really striking imagery here, even talking about sons of God born from immaculate virgins.
Whoa, hold on. That sounds like we've stumbled into some pretty familiar religious territory. Is Blavatsky talking about a literal God creating the universe here?
Not quite. She uses this familiar imagery to point towards a symbolic meaning. Imagine this primordial creative consciousness, a kind of cosmic mind that set the universe in motion. That's what she means by divine thought. It's not necessarily a deity in the traditional sense, but more like a fundamental creative principle at work.
Okay, so we're talking about a force of pure creative energy, the spark that ignited the entire universe. That's a pretty intense concept to wrap your head around.
It is, and it gets even more intriguing as we move into stanza I, which dives deeper into the very essence of existence. This stanza introduces the concept of the one form of existence as the source of everything. It's like searching for the ultimate recipe, the single ingredient from which the entire universe was cooked up.
Now, that's an idea that even resonates with modern science. Physicists today are constantly searching for a unified theory, a single explanation for gravity, electromagnetism, all the fundamental forces of the universe. It's like they're trying to pinpoint that exact one form of existence that Blavatsky was describing over a century ago.
Precisely. And she uses this brilliant analogy to explain it. Imagine gold hidden within quartz. You can't see the gold with the naked eye, right? But it's what gives that quartz its true value. Similarly, Blavatsky argued that there's this underlying reality, this invisible blueprint from which everything we perceive emerges. This unseen reality, which she called the noumenon, is like the gold hidden within the quartz. The true essence behind the physical world that we experience with our senses, what she called the phenomena.
So it's like we're living in a world of shadows, only perceiving the surface of things, unaware of the deeper hidden reality that underpins it all. It makes you question everything you think you know about the world.
Exactly. And Blavatsky believed that this hidden reality, it's structured in a very specific way. She described the universe as being sevenfold.
Sevenfold.
And cyclical,
Right.
constantly evolving and developing through these vast periods that she called rounds.
Rounds.
Think of it like a cosmic Ferris wheel. Each rotation represents a round, and each car on the wheel represents a different stage of evolution. Humanity, we're just taking a ride on this grand cosmic cycle.
So our planet is just one stop on this cosmic evolutionary journey. That's a pretty awe-inspiring concept. It makes our everyday worries seem pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. Blavatsky challenges us to expand our thinking, beyond our limited human perspective and consider the possibility of these vast cycles of time and the interconnectedness of all things.
Okay, so we've got this divine thought setting everything in motion, this unseen one form of existence as the source of everything in these mind-boggling cosmic rounds. It's a lot to take in. But the Secret Doctrine doesn't stop there. It also throws in some truly bizarre details that that really make you wonder what Blavatsky was thinking.
Right. For example, in stanza the fourth, she describes these fiery lives
Fiery lives.
that act as the building blocks of the universe, consuming and transforming energy on a cosmic scale.
Fiery lives. Now that sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel. Is she talking about tiny creatures made of fire here?
Well, she doesn't explicitly say they're creatures. It's more like she's describing these fundamental forces or energies that drive the universe's creation. It's almost as if she's hinting at like subatomic particles or some kind of cosmic energy we haven't even discovered yet.
Now that's an intriguing thought. It's like Blavatsky had a glimpse into the future of science,
Yeah.
using the language and imagery of her time to describe something beyond our current understanding.
Exactly. And there are even more head-scratching details scattered throughout the Secret Doctrine. For instance, she talks about the Earth having 6 sisters, suggesting the existence of other unseen globes connected to our planet.
Okay, now that's just straight up cool. It's like she took the idea of parallel universes and gave it this mystical twist. It's these little details that make the Secret Doctrine so captivating. It's this wild mix of ancient wisdom, esoteric concepts, and what almost feel like glimpses into the future of scientific thought.
Precisely. And while some people might dismiss it as pure fantasy, the Secret Doctrine continues to fascinate those who are drawn to the mysteries of the universe and the possibility of this hidden wisdom waiting to be uncovered.
It's definitely a book that sparks the imagination. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality. But before we get too lost in these cosmic mysteries, let's bring it back down to Earth, or at least to the topic of humanity. Where do we fit into this grand scheme of divine thought, one form of existence, and these cosmic rounds?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Blavatsky dives into the evolution of humanity, and let me tell you, it's not your typical Darwinian narrative. She introduces this concept of root races.
You were racist.
With each race representing a distinct stage in humanity's spiritual and physical development.
Root races. Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
So we've been, navigating this vastness of Blavatsky's cosmology, and now we're zooming in on humanity's place within it. Blavatsky, she presents this fascinating twist on human origins in stanza 10, provocatively titled "Nature Unaided Fails."
Nature unaided fails.
No.
That doesn't sound very optimistic. I thought we were all about grand cosmic plans and evolution. What's with the failure part?
See, that's where it gets really interesting. While Blavatsky believed in this universal blueprint, this grand plan, she also acknowledged that the journey isn't always smooth sailing.
Right.
Think of it like baking a cake, right? You have your recipe, you have your ingredients, but sometimes things don't quite rise the way you expect. There might be a few duds along the way.
Okay, I'm getting a visual here. Cosmic cake baking.
Okay.
So what were these duds in Blavatsky's recipe for humanity?
She called them monsters of chaos, but hold your fire-breathing dragons. These weren't necessarily physical monsters. Imagine them more like incomplete prototypes, early attempts at humanity that lacked a certain something, a vital ingredient to truly thrive.
So like evolutionary dead ends, paths not taken, nature experimenting with different forms, and some just didn't make the cut.
Exactly. But here's where Blavatsky throws in a curveball. She suggests that these early attempts, they weren't just random occurrences. She hints at these creators, even a double dragon involved in the process.
Hold on, a double dragon. Now that sounds like something straight out of ancient Chinese mythology.
That's the beauty of Blavatsky's writing. She weaves together these threads from myths and symbols across cultures to illustrate her points. This double dragon, it isn't meant to be taken literally. It represents duality, the interplay of light and dark, spirit and matter, the fundamental forces at play in creation.
Okay, so it's more about this push and pull of opposing forces, not literal fire-breathing lizards.
Yeah.
Got it. But what about these creators she mentions? Are we talking like gods, aliens, something else entirely?
Blavatsky called them flames. And while she remained deliberately vague about their exact nature, she categorized them into these 12 hierarchical groups.
No.
Each with a specific role in the grand scheme of things.
12 groups of flames. Sounds like Blavatsky loved a good, complex hierarchy. But let's get back to these early humans, these prototypes. What exactly were they missing?
According to Blavatsky, they lacked manas. Now, this isn't just some random word she pulled out of thin air.
Right.
Manas is a Sanskrit term, and it represents the mind, intellect, the bridge between spirit and matter.
So these early humans, they were like sophisticated robots, going through the motions, but lacking that spark of consciousness, that self-awareness that makes us human.
You're getting warmer. They existed in this kind of this twilight state driven by instinct rather than conscious thought. That's where this specific group of these flames, the Lords of the Flame, stepped in.
Okay.
Blavatsky believed they bestowed upon humanity the gift of manas, the very thing that ignited our consciousness and our capacity for self-reflection.
So they gave us the missing ingredient, the upgrade that turned us from instinct-driven beings into thinking, feeling humans. Talk about divine intervention.
And it doesn't end there. Blavatsky describes multiple attempts, multiple races of humanity rising and falling over these vast stretches of time. These weren't just variations on a theme,
Right.
but entirely different civilizations, each with its own unique set of characteristics and evolutionary purpose.
Okay, now my inner skeptic is starting to wave a red flag here. Lost civilizations,
Yeah.
multiple human races. I mean, it's a captivating idea, but is there any actual evidence to support this?
Blavatsky points to ancient myths and legends from around the world as echoes of these lost civilizations. She talks about Lemuria, this continent swallowed by the sea, and Atlantis, the technologically advanced civilization brought down by its own hubris.
Ah, yes, Lemuria and Atlantis, those
Yeah.
legendary lost civilizations. Intriguing, but mainstream science tends to categorize them as myth rather than historical fact.
That's true, but Blavatsky argued that these myths, they weren't just fanciful tales. You know, she saw them as symbolic representations of actual historical events, just events that unfolded on a timescale far grander than conventional history accounts for.
We're talking millions, maybe billions of years. That's a whole different concept of time.
Exactly. Blavatsky's cosmology operates on these vast cycles of creation and destruction, a perspective that really challenges our linear understanding of time.
Okay, let's say for a moment that we entertain this idea of lost civilizations. What were these Lemurians and Atlanteans like?
Blavatsky, she paints this really vivid picture. She describes the Lemurians as giants, androgynous beings who reproduced asexually. They even possessed this third eye, this organ of spiritual perception that allowed them to access a reality beyond our ordinary senses.
A third eye. Now that sounds like something straight out of a science fiction film.
It does, doesn't it? But Blavatsky didn't see it as purely mystical. She connected it to the pineal gland, that tiny pine cone-shaped gland in the brain. While mostly inactive in modern humans, she believed it was once this powerful organ of spiritual perception.
So like a dormant superpower we've lost touch with over time. Fascinating. What about the Atlanteans? Were they giant third-eyed beings too?
While Blavatsky doesn't go into as much detail about the Atlanteans as she does about the Lemurians, she suggests they were this technologically and magically advanced civilization, but ultimately undone by their arrogance and thirst for power.
The classic tale of a civilization brought down by its own hubris. It's a cautionary tale that resonates even today.
Precisely. Blavatsky uses the Atlantean myth to illustrate this cyclical nature of civilizations, the idea that even the most advanced societies are susceptible to the pitfalls of ego and the misuse of power.
It's a sobering thought for sure. But where's the evidence? If these civilizations were as advanced as Blavatsky claims, shouldn't we have, found some trace of them?
Blavatsky attributed their disappearance to these cataclysmic events, floods, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions that reshaped the Earth's surface, submerging entire continents and leaving behind only these scattered remnants.
They're lost beneath the waves, buried under millennia of geological change.
Yeah.
That makes finding proof a tad tricky.
Indeed. But Blavatsky, she points to these enigmatic structures around the world, the pyramids, Stonehenge, the statues on Easter Island as possible evidence of these lost civilizations, structures she believed were beyond the capabilities of the ancient cultures credited with building them.
So she's suggesting these structures were built by beings with technology and knowledge far surpassing our own. It's a bold claim, to be sure.
And one that continues to spark debate and speculation to this day. Blavatsky, she challenges us to consider these alternative interpretations of history, to remain open to the possibility that our understanding of the past is not as complete as we as we might think.
It's definitely a mind-bending concept. So where do we, the current inhabitants of this planet, fit into this grand scheme of root races and lost civilizations?
Well, that brings us to the fifth root race, our own.
Okay.
In stanza 12, Blavatsky, she dives into the development of the fifth root race and introduces this intriguing concept of divine instructors.
Yeah. Divine instructors. So like cosmic teachers guiding humanity towards enlightenment. I'm getting flashbacks to those Lords of the Flame who graced us with manas earlier. Are they connected?
There are definitely parallels. Blavatsky believed that throughout history, these advanced spiritual beings have incarnated among humans, sharing wisdom, guiding us towards these higher levels of consciousness.
Interesting. So these instructors, they weren't confined to any specific religion or culture. They could have appeared anywhere, anytime, kind of subtly shaping human civilization throughout history.
Exactly. Think of the great prophets, mystics, and teachers from all cultures and traditions. Blavatsky saw them as potential examples of these divine instructors, individuals who carried a spark of wisdom from a higher realm and shared it with humanity.
It makes you wonder who might these instructors be today, and what wisdom are they trying to impart to us? But if these instructors are so advanced, why not just reveal all the answers? Give us the cheat codes to enlightenment.
That's where Blavatsky's philosophy on knowledge comes in. She believed that true knowledge, true wisdom, it can't be simply handed down. It has to be earned through experience, through questioning, through our own personal journeys of self-discovery.
It's like the old adage, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. These instructors might, point us in the right direction, but it's up to us to actually do the work.
Precisely. And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of stanza 12. Blavatsky's unique interpretation of the satanic myth.
Oh, now that's a loaded topic.
Yeah.
Is she suggesting that the devil is real?
Not quite. Blavatsky viewed the figure of Satan not as a literal evil entity, but as a symbol of rebellion, of those who dared to question the status quo, those who sought knowledge beyond the confines of dogma and blind faith.
So like the mythical figures of Prometheus who stole fire from the gods, and Lucifer, the fallen angel who dared to challenge the heavens. They weren't necessarily evil, but rather these symbols of rebellion against authority and the pursuit of forbidden knowledge.
Exactly. Blavatsky saw them as representing this necessary aspect of human evolution, the drive to question, to seek knowledge, even if it means challenging, accepted beliefs.
Blavatsky really had a knack for turning traditional interpretations on their head, didn't she? She reinterpreted creation myths, recast the devil as this symbol of intellectual curiosity, and suggested that humanity's evolution is guided by these cosmic instructors. It's a pretty radical reimagining of spirituality.
It is, and that's what makes the Secret Doctrine so compelling. Blavatsky encouraged readers to think critically, to question assumptions, and to explore these alternative interpretations of ancient wisdom and esoteric traditions. She wasn't afraid to stir the pot and challenge conventional thought.
And she certainly stirred up a lot of debate with her ideas. But there's one thing I keep coming back to. The Secret Doctrine is full of these mind-blowing concepts, but it's also incredibly dense and complex. How did anyone, even in Blavatsky's time, make sense of it all? Did she offer any practical tools for deciphering this cosmic code?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll explore further as we continue our deep dive. Blavatsky did offer a set of keys for unlocking the secrets hidden within her work, and one of those keys is understanding the sevenfold nature of reality.
Sevenfold nature of reality. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Okay, so we've journeyed through Blavatsky's cosmos. We've met some monsters of chaos. We even tangled with the idea of lost civilizations. Now we're diving into the sevenfold nature of reality. It's like every layer we peel back in the Secret Doctrine reveals even more intricate patterns.
It truly is remarkable, and understanding the sevenfold structure, it's really key to unlocking so many of the book's secrets. Think of it like a cosmic octave. Just as a musical octave has 7 notes that create harmony, Blavatsky, she believed that reality itself is composed of 7 interconnected levels or planes of existence.
Okay, I'm visualizing this cosmic symphony here. So what are these different planes? Is it like heaven, hell, and everything in between?
Yeah. Not quite. Blavatsky's model is a bit more nuanced than that. She described these planes as having these different levels of density or vibration, with the physical plane, the one we're familiar with, being the densest, and the spiritual planes becoming progressively more ethereal.
So it's like a spectrum with our physical world at one end and pure spirit at the other.
Yeah.
And everything, including us humans, exists on multiple levels simultaneously.
Exactly. Remember how we talked about the manas, that spark of consciousness the lords of the flame bestowed upon humanity? Well, Blavatsky believed that manas, it allows us to bridge these different planes, to connect our physical bodies with our spiritual selves.
So it's like we're multidimensional beings existing in multiple dimensions at once. It's kind of like those Russian nesting dolls. You open one to reveal another one inside, and another, and so on. We're not just these physical bodies, but also like energetic beings, mental beings, and even spiritual beings, all nested within each other.
That's a great analogy. And just like those nesting dolls, each level it has its own unique characteristics and influences the levels around it. Blavatsky believed that understanding this interplay between the planes, it's crucial for understanding everything from human evolution to the nature of consciousness itself.
This whole sevenfold nature of reality is making my brain do backflips. But I have to ask, how does any of this relate to our everyday lives? It's fascinating to contemplate these cosmic structures, but does it actually change anything about how we live?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? Blavatsky, she believed that by understanding these hidden principles, by recognizing our connection to these higher planes of existence, that we could unlock our true potential, our potential as spiritual beings.
Yeah.
She even hinted at the possibility of developing these latent abilities, expanding our consciousness, and tapping into a wisdom far beyond our ordinary comprehension.
So it's like the Secret Doctrine is this user manual for the human soul. It's not just about understanding the universe, but about understanding ourselves, our place in the grand scheme of things, and the possibilities that lie dormant within us.
Precisely. And while some of Blavatsky's ideas might seem a little outlandish, maybe even unbelievable at first glance, they offer this really powerful invitation, an invitation to question our assumptions, to expand our awareness, and to consider the possibility that reality is far more mysterious and interconnected than we might have ever imagined.
It's definitely a journey that requires an open mind and a healthy dose of curiosity.
Yeah.
Speaking of journeys, we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive today. We've explored the origins of the universe, the evolution of humanity, the rise and fall of civilizations. We even delved into Blavatsky's unique interpretation of consciousness and the nature of reality itself.
And yet, we've barely scratched the surface of the Secret Doctrine. Blavatsky's work is so rich in symbolism, in allegory, and in esoteric teachings that it truly invites a lifetime of study and contemplation.
It's a book that just keeps on revealing these new layers of meaning, with each reading. And I have a feeling we'll be returning to its pages for many deep dives to come. But for now, I think it's time to leave our listeners with a final thought-provoking question, something to ponder as they continue their own explorations of the Secret Doctrine. Blavatsky, she wrote that life, therefore, is everywhere in the universe, and it is also in the atom. What if she was right? What if consciousness isn't limited to humans or even biological life, but is this fundamental property of the universe itself? Perhaps the real secrets aren't hidden in ancient texts or in lost civilizations, but within the very fabric of existence, waiting for us to develop the awareness, the consciousness to perceive them.